ranking every single Spider-Man movie villain from worst to best now that I've seen Across the Spider-Verse. That's right, all of them. So I got you for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of playtime. And I'm only going to be doing the Spider-Man movies, not Venom or Morbius. And it's a ranking video, which means there's going to be some controversy. But in the wise words of the great philosopher Sammy J Reacts, it's my list I can't miss. In last place, we got Alistair Smythe. Ryan started the fire. It would have been cool to see him turn into the real Alistair Smythe. But here's just that bitch-ass supervisor who makes you stay late on your birthday. Who does that? Next up, we got Donald Mencken. Remember this guy? No, I don't blame you. He's really just a plot device to turn Harry into the Green Goblin. Next up, we got Phineas Mason, aka the Tinkerer. And outside of tinkering, he really doesn't do much. From there, we go to Matt Gargan, played by Michael Mando. And trust me, I hear you. There's a lot of potential here because he's going to be Scorpion eventually. But so far, he's just a typical arms dealer, I guess arms buyer, who really doesn't do much. Next up, I got fucking Brad. This man was the precursor to Paul. If you read the comics, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Who takes pictures of people with their pants down? That's some weirdo behavior. You know, I don't blame Peter for calling in that drone strike on him. From there, we go to Flash. I wouldn't want to fight me neither. What's Daddy gonna do? Sue me? Peter put the pause on him real quick though. Armadillo and Across the Spider-Verse. I just love that I actually got to see him, but he got packed up real quick. He got kicked like a soccer ball. Along the same lines, Medieval Vulture from Across the Spider-Verse for some reason took 3 spider people to take him down, but he don't belong any higher. From there, we go to Bonesaw is ready. What are you doing up there? That's a cute outfit. Did your husband get it for you? You already heard my 3 minutes impersonation. It's Randy Savage. Next up, I got Jackson Bryce, aka Shocker #1. And I actually really liked him as Shocker for the 5 minutes he was on screen. He literally dragged Peter across the neighborhood, and he was too damn defiant. Now he's a pile of ash, no Thanos. I wonder if his ashes got dusted. From there, we go to Herman Schultz, Shocker #2, who isn't as cool as Shocker #1, but he does get more to do, and he gets a couple licks in before ultimately getting webbed once. And really stopped by Ned. You get stopped by Ned. Come on, man. What are we doing? But you know, I'm not shocked. Next up, I got the carjacker from Spider-Man 1, and I would have put him higher if we didn't find out that he wasn't the one that actually killed Uncle Ben, but he was partly responsible, so that's why I got him this high. Put the money in the bag. Hurry up! Thanks. I'm lumping together Tombstone, Scorpion, and the Green Goblin from Into the Spider-Verse. You know, I appreciate the redesign for these two. Not a big fan personally. I did like Tombstone, but they all really don't get much to do, but they are partly responsible for a couple of deaths, so I gotta put them on here. From there, we go to Rhino from The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I am the Rhino! I told you I would be back! Goofy ass Rhino, bro. He's on this list for the Rhino boxers alone. But that's what you get when you mix a big fat liar with a hungry Rhino. From there, we go to Olivia Octavius, the Doc Ock. It's Catherine Hahn, and this twist threw me for a damn loop. Enough said. From there, we go to the liquor store thief from The Amazing Spider-Man. This man killed Uncle Ben and got away with it. This man killed my uncle, and he's still out there. But I do really love the lesson that Peter learns from this situation. He has to learn to let this guy go and be a hero, not a vigilante. Next up, we got Harry Osborn's Green Goblin from The Amazing Spider-Man 2. And I know, I don't like this. And you're probably wondering, why do you have it this high? It's because technically he was the first domino to drop in Gwen Stacy's death. I feel like I'm there now. But bro just looks like an elf with genital warts on his face. I thought Dane DeHaan did good as Harry Osborn, but this was not it. And the whole motivation is dumb as fuck.
The Osborn disease. I didn't tell you. It's genetic.
You need Spider-Man's blood to live. Like, all right, whatever.
Look at me. When you said Spider-Man said no, you meant you said no.
You're a fraud, Spider-Man. Like, what? I feel like this was just shoehorned in there and they should have saved it for the 3rd movie. Next up, I got Venom from Spider-Man 3. My spider senses are tingling, if you know what I'm talking about. Man, this is just not it. Why is Eric from that 70s show fucking Eddie Brock? I'll tell you why, because Avi Arad forced Venom into this movie, so Sam Raimi said, all right, fuck that. I'm gonna take everything cool about the character and throw that shit out the window. I do like how he's supposed to be a mirror to Peter Parker, and this design is okay, and the origin is pretty much tit for tat like it is in the comics, but he's just your typical, it should have been me! I should have got the girl, the staff job, everything. I come to you, humbled and humiliated, to ask you for one thing. I want you to kill Peter Parker. This man legit preyed on Peter's death. Now, that's what I call preying on someone's downfall. And I also hate how there was no interaction between him and the symbiote, but he killed Harry. That's why he's this high. Next up, we got Dr. Kurt Connors, aka the Lizard from The Amazing Spider-Man.
Poor Peter Parker. You stopped me once. You won't stop me again.
I actually really enjoyed his character. I thought they made him sympathetic enough with wanting to grow his arm and being pressured at work, but I still wish they would have added his wife and his son, just to add a little bit more weight to his character and his motivations. Instead of being a guy who just lost his arm and wants to grow it back, turning into a giant lizard, and then wanting to turn everybody else into giant lizards, even though that shit would be lizard. But that entire fight scene in the school is peak. It's crazy that was completely CGI. That's something the Flash wish they could have done. That was a weird cough. Next up, I got Electro, and he definitely got some cool points thanks to No Way Home. That redesign is tough. Because to be honest with you, I thought his origin in The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was kind of goofy and corny. Like, they try to go this whole route of him being a loner no one cared about, who tragically becomes a monster. But then in No Way Home, they just said, fuck that, he's a completely different character. But his motivation goes from being a nobody to being jealous of Spider-Man because he gets more attention than you. I don't know, it just felt weak to me. But his visuals and fight scenes, Hans Zimmer's score, the way he plays Itsy Bitsy Spider is pretty funny. But what? That was gonna act like I'm not standing here butt-ass naked? In 8th place, I got Harry Osborn's New Goblin. You knew this was coming, Pete. I protected you in high school, but now I'm gonna kick your little ass. I really wish this was more of a focus in this movie instead of having him have amnesia for most of it, even though some of that shit was kind of funny. Avenge me! And when they team up at the end, this was my endgame Portal scene. And when he died, shit, I'm about to pour one out for my boy. Harry Osborn died, a hero. Next up, I'm gonna go with Uncle Aaron Davis's The Prowler. On his theme alone, bro got the hardest theme in the game. Okay, that was bad. You're the best of all of us, Miles. Hey. But I just love the way that Mahershala Ali plays this role, and the dynamic between him and Miles is perfect. What if Uncle Ben was trying to kill you this whole time? From there, we go to Spot. Now, I've already seen a lot of people overrating him, and that's fine and dandy. I do love how he goes from the butt of all jokes, legit being made an antagonist because he got hit in the face by a fucking bagel. But once he becomes that multiversal monster, see you back home, Spider-Man. He was menacing, but he really doesn't do anything much in the movie other than become a fucking multiversal battery. So I can't justify putting him any higher, but he gonna be a problem in Beyond the Spider-Verse, trust. Next up, we got Kingpin from Into the Spider-Verse. He has strong motivation for what he's doing. He fucking kills Spider-Man, and it's Liv Schreiber voicing him. Like, what more can I really say? Kill that guy. Into our top 5, with number 5, I got Quentin Beck's Mysterio, played by the great Jake Gyllenhaal. I just love what Jake Gyllenhaal does with his performance. Is he really just an Iron Man villain? Yeah, but I think for the MCU's purposes, it works. Having Mysterio have this team around him and all this illusion tech, I thought that shit was fire. Plus, we got the fucking fishbowl. I never thought we would see that in live action. And I love how his costume is like a combination of a bunch of different MCU heroes, like Thor, Doctor Strange, Iron Man. Nowadays, people will believe anything. Fire all of the drones now! He low-key won in the end, exposing Peter's identity to the entire world. In 4th place, I got Flint Marko Sandman, played by Thomas Hayden Church. He pretty much stays the same between Spider-Man 3 and No Way Home. And the reason he's this high and as dumb as it sounds, he's the one who actually kills Uncle Ben, even though he didn't mean it. For me personally, I thought everything with Sandman and Spider-Man 3 worked, and I wish it would have been more of a focus. I'm not a bad guy, I've just had bad luck. Penny! Reason he's doing all this is to save his daughter who's sick. He needs the money, which is when he falls into a super collider. Damn, gotta be careful where you fall. And I think this is one of the most beautiful scenes I've ever seen in a comic book movie ever. And he's learning how to use his powers. He can't grab his locket with his daughter's picture. And he's like tearing up, finally mustering up the strength to become the Sandman. I wish they would have kept the sandcastle scene. That shit's fire, look it up. And the whole apology at the end of the movie was beautiful, especially for a character in the comics who's mainly just a thug. Into our top 3, I got Michael Keaton as Adrian Toomes, the Vulture. Now, this is a perfect adaptation from the comics. I love everything they do with him, make him a blue-collared worker who's responsible for cleaning up all these superhero messes, but once the superheroes get their own people to clean it up, leaving you without a job, shit, I'd make a big giant Vulture suit too, which makes sense why he would be called Vulture. And that twist that he was Liz's dad the whole time, I didn't see that coming at all. Not to mention that entire car ride scene where he slowly starts to put together that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and this shot of the red light turning green in particular, fire. I'll kill you, and everyone you love, I'll kill you. Dead. And in the end, he's a respectful man, not revealing Spider-Man's identity because he saved him. Just don't mention anything he's got to do with Morbius. I also wish we would have got more aerial fight scenes. I just always picture that with Vulture, but that's just a minor nitpick. In 2nd place, I got Alfred Molina as Dr. Otto Octavius, aka Doc Ock. Look at the drip. And I love that they kept him the same in No Way Home. He was legit ripped from 2004, and it's still a trip that we actually got this. His origin is a horror story. Beloved scientist goes crazy thanks to the 4 mechanical arms welded right onto his body. Guy named Otto Octavius winds up with 8 limbs. What are the odds? Hoffman! Yeah? What are we gonna call this guy? Dr. Octopus. Crap. Science Squid? Crap. Doctor Strange. That's pretty good, but it's taken. Wait, I got it. Dr. Octopus. New villain in town. Doc Ock. Genius. What are you looking for, a raise? Get out. The dynamic between him and Peter Parker is great. You're getting on my nerves. I have a knack for that. Not anymore. Plus the fight scene, the bank fight, into the side of the skyscraper fight. Butterfingers. Not to mention the greatest fight scene in superhero film history on the train. This man lost his life, wife, mind, and career all in one day. But the power of hope brought him back. And he will not die a monster. And in 1st place, give me rent. Wait, hello, you're fired. Wait, hello? Give me rent. Low-key, it should be this Usher. Mary Jane Watson, she asked me to come, but not to come late. That's called motherfucking boy! But was there ever any doubt that it wasn't going to be Green Goblin in 1st? You know? Bro was a menace in Spider-Man 1 and came back an even bigger menace in No Way Home. Norman's on sabbatical, honey. Some men just want to watch the world burn. No one says no to me. That's who the Green Goblin is, just a menace. Upon first meeting Spider-Man, hey, yo! At first, he thinks him and Spider-Man are similar. Think of what we could create. In spite of everything you've done for them, eventually they will hate you. Think about it, hero. Gave Aunt May a heart attack in Spider-Man 1. Finish it. And then finish the job in No Way Home. Get